are now back for what I believe to be step 4. Might have lost a little bit of count. I finally decided on the hardware. I had got both of these because I thought there was going to be a good bit of brown in it to choose from some that were marked down at Hobby Lobby. I've decided against both of those. I found these in another drawer that I had for a different project that I never used, and they're really cute, but the white's not really going to go with it. So I'm going to go back to the weathered wood, and I'm going to paint these with the weathered wood. I also just decided the inside of this drawer was painted in its previous life, and I've been trying to decide what I was going to do with it. I believe that I'm going to go ahead and go in and paint it with weathered wood, touch up this top, leave it in the weathered wood, and this has been driving me crazy that I've done nothing with this little board that'll never show, but I'm going to paint that in weathered wood. After we finish all this, we're going to do a top coat with Big Top, but then I'm going to do a little bit of waxing to, you know, bring out some of the details in this piece and in some of the carved out areas and in the corners to age it a little bit. And I had brought some dark wax, like a black wax, home to do that with, but I think what I'm going to do is take the clear wax, and we'll do this on video as well, but I'm going to take the clear wax and mix some of the weathered wood in it and make like my own tinted wax to use, so that it'll still, all the colors will for sure tie each other together. Today's coat is Apothecary. It's a little bit of a lighter sort of greenish blue than what we have on there now. I'm using today this Dixie Belle FL brush only because the little brush for some reason was a little bit crispy. I don't know what I did because I thought I washed it really well while I was sneaking to wash it when my husband wasn't looking inside. This looks about the same as last time I showed it to you. This is just dry now with another coat of another color on there. See, still all granola hunky chunky. Here's another thing I wanted to discuss with you. In the first video that I did, and that's not in the series, but I'm going to share it here, I talked about how I did this, and then I measured and drew lines and all that to make sure it's perfect. Well, it's not. It's off center, and I'm not taking it off and redoing it. And I don't know if Eric will let me. He's camera shy. If he'll let me film that or figure out a way. But I filled in the holes where the old hardware was, and we're going to try to find a way with that larger hardware to put it on here to change up, share the difference in what the sides are on that, to where it's not as obvious that this piece isn't centered. If after all that it's obvious, I'll redo it. See the difference in color in that? It's a lot lighter. And this is all we're going to do today. Since the texture is so chunky, lumpy textured on here, that's why I'm kind of going in circles and going this way and that way to make sure that I'm getting the paint on everywhere, but then I'm going back over it to make sure that my brush marks are going in the correct direction. We do have a little bit of paint because I do this so thick around the top edge here. See how I can hold it up. That came over this part that I'm going to paint brown, but we'll sand that off later to smooth that out. I chose the DIY paint for this because of the clay base and the ability to build up with it like that, and because of being able, you know, how easily I can wet distress it and, you know, sand through using the, you know, just the not having to have a big sander or anything whenever I'm coming through on this piece. I mean, you could use, if you wanted to use a hand sander or something like that, obviously you can. but I'm not wanting it to be that distressed. I'm not wanting to take that much of the paint off between each layer. I'm wanting to just reveal small amounts of the colors underneath. And I do believe that the easiest one to distress and get back to the colors underneath is the DIY paint. Not a doubt in my mind. I've used all kinds of paints over. Pretty. There's not, you know, to the naked eye from somebody from a distance, you wouldn't be able to see that much difference, but I think you can see from the distance here. That's why I have it so far back today, that you can see the difference, the subtle differences that'll show through later on. See some of that sawdust that I told you about the first time still coming through, still giving a little bit of like old texture to this side piece, which is awesome.